So we go back to 17th of June, which still continues with the conversations about positions. And it starts at 21:27.
That will be on page 1198, Chair. Yes, you can continue.
So now, I mean, she's already told him it's been a rough day at work. And she's talked about the urgent application and the strike. So at 21:27, he goes back to, where were we last night? We were warming up. And her response is, oh no, are you still referring to that? That, again, is like, oh no, are we going there again? Are you still talking about that? I thought that was, the implication I read from this is, are you still talking about that? That was yesterday's conversation. Are you still going on about that? And I think one can read, she's not thrilled to go back to that because she never answered him. He continued asking questions about her favorite position, and that's how the evening ended. And he was still asking her, and she was not responding. So she's, which, if you're being asking those questions and somebody's not responding, that's not something they necessarily want to respond to. And I think that's reinforced by her saying, are you still referring to that? And him saying, purely because we were about to land. This is quite, I think, here there seems to be him assuming that there was something mutual going on, because where were we last night? We were warming up. This ignores the fact that she said she gave him the answer of surprise and then did not respond to him again. So there isn't that much mutuality going on. Because we were about to land. Even though she did not respond to him, he is still seeming to think that there was something mutual going on there, that she was telling him what her favorite position was. And then her response is, the exhaustion is extreme. I'm about to sleep. So I'm extremely tired. I want to go to sleep. This is not the time for the conversation. And then it gets into sets of conversations about who's getting up at what hour of the morning to go to work or to write a judgment. And then at 9:30, she says, understood, and it has the embarrassed monkey emoji. He has these halo angel emoji and smile hug face. And then a set of messages with one saying BJ equals, presumably meaning blowjob, and this is how, from the evidence, it appears that how the complainant understood it.
That's on page 1200, Chair.
At 21:32. So although she has told him that she's tired, she's exhausted, it's been a long day, he is still continuing to message her. And it would seem from this, it has sexual content as well. She responds at 21:34, not to worry about that, another deleted message. She says something about length. He says, okay. And then she finishes off by saying, I was still busy, sorry. So presumably explaining why she's not responding to him. So on the 18th of June, at 52 minutes after midnight indicates that he's still waiting for some sort of response.
That's on 1201, Chair. One. Yes?
She's getting ready for work. And then this again appears to be a sexual suggestion around especially rare things. Am I wrong? Not at all. Again, you're writing and deleting, but you know I'm busy. So again, she's saying to me, this is distracting. And he says he's distracting because he doesn't want to distract. Okay. So then we get to 20th of June.
Chair, that would be on 1202 in the middle, but then it jumps over to 1203. It's continuing there.
So we go to 2022-23.
Sorry, say again, 2223.
Yeah.
Of the respondents' messages. It's 1203, Chair. It's on the bottom of the page. Yes.
He says, we had not finished our conversation. So that presumably he's referring back to favorite positions. She does the embarrassed, and he says underneath there the other day. So there's previous comments about our conversation, we were about to land, etc. That's the meaning one takes from that. So she has her embarrassed monkey emoji and face, and I am so lazy. Looking at her evidence in chief, the interpretation seems to be settled on, I don't really want to get into this. I don't really want to have this discussion. Then he sends her a picture which she comments on as him being cute. And then, to do what? You make me shy. In what way? And then we get to her saying, I'm in East London, it would be better if we could meet face to face.
Chair, that will be on page 1206.
So why this conversation becomes important is now there is a meeting, a possible meeting, and it's the purpose of the meeting. Why would we be meeting? What would we be doing if we were to meet? So in East London, where she's working, retirement of her grandmother, and then he goes from, so at 10:30 from her, talking about the retirement of her judge. He says, okay. And then he jumps from the meeting straight into, you reckon we can be intimate this week?
Chair, that would be on page 1208 on top. Yes?
You reckon we can be intimate this week? I don't know what her response is. Looks like a sticker of some sort. And then he follows up at 22:32 to say, I'm just asking. And her response is to say, go and read the first word in the Course of Bible of Psalms 1 verse 1. So the way I understand this is she knows him to be religious. She's reminding him of that and referring him to read the Bible. She's giving him, the Bible is a guide to moral conduct. So when you refer people back to the Bible, you are often, one of the things you are doing is you are reminding them of moral behavior and what does the Bible say about what is moral and how we should behave.
She also said the reason why she referred him to that specific verse in the Xhosa Bible was because of the first word.
Yes. And she actually says that in her WhatsApp. And he says, he obviously doesn't go and look. But says, what does it say? Please remind me. And she says, I wanted you to Google or peruse it. I wanted you to go and read it. I wanted you to see for yourself.
That's on page 1209, Chair. Please. Sorry, you can continue.
Okay, so his response is at 2234 about not associating with evildoers. So even if he leaves the word no, he's got the gist of it. Can we be intimate? And her response is, don't associate with evildoers. That's not exactly a sign of, that's not enthusiastic yes to what he's just asked. Wow. So again, explain. She says Psalms 1 verse 1 in capitals. Hi, no. So she's very clear. His response, like, you reckon we can be intimate? No.
If you reach the convenience.
Yes, it's almost lunchtime, so just maybe finish this conversation
Sure.
where you think it's appropriate for us to adjourn for the lunch break.
Yeah. There is also, so there's that. Then there is, I'm at East London. It would be better if we could meet face to face. So he's pointing up again about the meeting. She then goes and Googles, blessed is the one who does not walk in step with the wicked. So that's another way of saying that after she has said no, that the person who stays away from the wicked ones is blessed. She says to him, we should look at each other, not be intimate. So she's saying to him, I would meet with you, but it's under these conditions. It's that we look at each other. We are not intimate. So she's being very clear. No, I am not going to be intimate with you, but if we do meet, it will be to look at each other. It will not be anything. It will not be anything other than that. Let me go back to him waiting for an answer, fanning himself, or a gif of a man fanning himself, and again saying, he's previously said, what if we melt, which is not impossible. So he suggested, what if our feelings overcome each other? And then, which would be reinforced by the picture of the man fanning himself, presumably being overcome by heat and emotion. And she responds to his comment of, it's not impossible with, it is impossible. So she has been quite clear. No, don't associate yourself with wicked people, with evildoers. It is impossible. But we can meet in order to speak. Then it continues. She says to me, the picture of the man fanning himself, you're getting provoked very early. And then he says to her, but why do you say it's impossible? And then he goes back to say to her, are you provoking? She's saying it's principle. And then he continues on with, I was going to give you this from the picture of the banana emoji.
That is on page 1213, Chair, at 2245.
So she has said to him, no, it's impossible. We can meet, but it won't be intimate. We can look at each other. And he's continuing with, but I was going to give you this one, the banana, presumably meaning the penis. And her response is, honourable member, don't do that. It's an expression of disapproval. And then he concludes with, you want us to just be friends? He's again listening for a response. She's saying, you're quiet. And she says, I don't have any answers. I'm just trying to see what I can do to wrap up quickly.
We can continue with this one after lunch,
Okay,
if,
all right,
if you feel that it's more appropriate. If you have more to say
quite
about.
a long. I don't want to gloss over and jump things.
Thank you. We can then continue then with this after lunch.